Hello and welcome to the Swamps. This is a tarot reading on what your future self would like to tell you. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. Let's get started. Hello, pile number 1. You chose the red aura quartz, one of my favorites. This is your tarot reading on what your future self would like to tell you. So let's get started. I'm going to do your oracles first, and then we'll get into your tarot. So first we have signs. Instincts are the message from the inner divine. Next we have blue lace agate. Find your calm. Next we have 27, duality and banana. And last we have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. Okay, so I feel like you're not going to realize it till after the fact, and this is why this is coming through for a reading from your future self. You're not going to realize it, but you're being shown signs that something in your life is coming to an end, something that was very difficult to deal with. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but you're going to be finding your calm soon. Maybe this was a polarizing event, and that's why this duality is coming out. With the bananas, something that I know about bananas is that they're actually a berry, or at least I heard that once. I don't know if that's true, but I heard that, and that's what I'm thinking about when I see that right now. And that to me says that like this is going to end in a way that you don't expect, because no one expects a banana to be a berry, or at least no one is expected to be told that at the very least. So I feel like there's going to be an end to a personal issue of some kind, like this card is saying, like your Cancer or full moon in Cancer card is saying. But you're not going to expect how it ends. I feel like this is going to be just sort of out of left field. This is going to be, you're really just not going to expect it. And I feel like you're being currently shown signs that only your future self is going to recognize. So perhaps you don't really see it right now, but when this does resolve, you're going to be like, oh, the universe was trying to tell me that this is how this was going to end. But I feel like you just don't see that right now. Just like I don't see how a banana is a berry. But hold on a second. I want to put my hair up. I'm getting hot in here. Perhaps this is a situation that's been very heated for a minute, and your future self is trying to tell you that like you're just not expecting this to cool down. You're not expecting to find your calm from this situation, and it's going to sort of just be a surprise to you that this ends the way that it does. Let's get into your tarot. You've got the Three of Swords. Yeah, so this situation might be something that's been just like weighing down, giving you a heavy heart is what I just heard. Like you have a heavy heart from this situation. Perhaps it's really emotionally tiring, or emotionally like you're exerting yourself emotionally a lot from this situation. And that's, I guess, like maybe you're not expecting to find a place of calm from this situation. Perhaps you're not expecting this to resolve itself. Perhaps this is something that you aren't expecting to end even. Maybe this is like a familial conflict and you're just not expecting it to end anytime soon. But what your future self is trying to say here is that it will end, but in a very unexpected way. And I almost feel like urged to tell you to not even try to like visualize how this is going to end, because it's just like almost impossible is almost like what I heard. It's almost impossible to actually see how this is going to end. Perhaps it hasn't even been set in stone exactly, but whatever the actual resolution to this is very unexpected is what I'm getting from this. And you are being given signs by like your spirit guides and depending on what you prefer to call them. I call them spirit guides, but like angels, spirit guides, you are receiving signs from them. Perhaps this is even a sign as well, being told that you're going to find your calm, being told that this is going to end in unexpected ways, being told that this is going to end in general, whatever this conflict is. Let's get to your next card. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, so I feel like this is going to be a happy ending with that Nine of Pentacles coming out. I feel like this is going to be, the resolution to this is so unexpected because it is such a nice ending, is sort of what I'm getting from this. Especially with this full moon in Cancer. Cancer is a very sentimental sign, so perhaps this is going to be like memorable. Perhaps this resolution will be very sentimental and memorable. Perhaps, this is just an example, but perhaps you were dealing with some kind of conflict within your family and, you know, they were in the wrong. Okay, let's just say they were in the wrong and you never thought that they would come to you and say, you know what, I screwed up. But they do. And this is something that, you know, this is something that you're going to remember. And I actually heard like you're going to remember the date of this, is like, that's how important and significant this is to you, and how sentimental it is to you. So I feel like however this resolves itself is going to be really sentimental, really emotional. There's a lot of blue coming out in this reading, so very emotional as well. Perhaps somebody, this is another example, but I don't think this is going to apply to everybody. Perhaps somebody was taking money from somebody that you really cared about took money from you, and this really destroyed your relationship, or at least destroyed your trust with them. And perhaps they're paying that money back and really genuinely showing signs of being regretful of doing this, or just some kind of grand act to make up for what they did. Is sort of like the gist of the energy that I'm feeling here, is that there's something that somebody did that really hurt you, but they're going to really make up for this and prove to you that, you know, that was a mistake and they view it as a mistake. Okay. Like, I can't really, I'm not really picking up on this other person's energy, so it might not even be another person. This could just be like a personal thing as well, but it could also be another person. I'm just not picking up on their energy. Yeah, let's get some charms out. Let's pull some charms. I feel like this relationship with whoever this may be with, or with yourself, is just going to grow from this. You're going to, like, perhaps if you had broken trust with this person, you're going to regrow that trust. This person, I think, is going to handle this situation a lot more gracefully than you expect. Especially if tensions with this person have been very high recently, and maybe they weren't very graceful in the past. I feel like they're going to try to resolve this in a very graceful manner with that ballerina coming out. Again, an emphasis on growth with this butterfly, or transformation, if you will, with this butterfly coming out. Perhaps the relationship itself will transform, be even stronger, I heard. We have this strawberry coming out. Again, another emphasis on growth to me, because I think of like harvesting, perhaps. Maybe this is like your relationship is going to be more just developed after this. Maybe this is going to put more depth into the relationship. Cancer is a very in-depth sign. So like with emotional depth. So I could see that. Maybe that's why this full moon in Cancer is coming out as well, as perhaps there's going to be more emotional depth to your relationship after this. You got 2 of these coming out. So I heard moving on, swimming on, when I saw these like tails, these like dolphin or whale tails or fish tails. Perhaps this person was spinning a tale. Perhaps they told a lie of some sort, and they're doing something to make up for that. They're doing something to prove to you that they very much regret saying this lie. Again, this unicorn's coming out, and I feel like this is an emphasis on very unexpected. This is a very unexpected resolution to this conflict. Like I said, you're just not going to expect it, even though the universe and your spirit guides or your guardian angels, whatever you want to call them, has been giving you a lot of signs about this. And to be honest with you, this has happened to me in the past, where I've been given countless signs but for whatever reason, I just can't, I just don't pick up on it. And not till after the fact do I realize I was given a ton of signs here to just like, I don't even know. Sometimes I think the purpose of signs is like reassurance, but sometimes we'll be so caught up in the negative aspects of the situation that's going on that we don't even really see the small acts of reassurance that the universe is giving us. So I feel like it's one of those moments where the universe, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, they're all trying to give you like reassurance that this will resolve, that, things will get better with this relationship. But for whatever reason, you're just so stuck up on like this card right here, this energy. This is what you're stuck up on. And, I don't blame you. This is a very intense energy. This Three of Swords, almost every deck of tarot cards with the Three of Swords, it's always a very intense energy to me. So I don't blame you for that. But I do think that, maybe this is just trying to tell you that there are signs pointing to this resolving. That's all I'm really getting for this reading. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you return to the swamps for another tarot reading. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. Thank you. All right, there she goes. I just heard there she blows, actually. I don't know if that might mean something to somebody. I just think with the tails there, that might mean something. Perhaps this was a very explosive conflict. Hello, pile number 2. This is your tarot reading for what your future self wants to tell you. You chose the Garnet. I just heard the Steven Universe song when I picked this up. Garnet, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven. So, I don't know if that means anything to any of you. Perhaps that's just clarification that this was meant for you. All right, let's get into your oracles and then we'll get to your tarot. So we have courage. Let me be open to courageously take the steps that are shown. Moonstone. Live your purpose. Happiness. Majorum. With the sign of Gemini and 15. And then we have your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. I feel like this person, I guess your future self is saying this, but whoever chose this pile, I feel like your future self is saying that you've been working hard on living your true self, because that's a very courageous thing to do, being yourself. So I feel like that's where this courage is coming from. And so is this happiness. I feel like people are always much happier when they're honest with themselves and honest with who they are. This moonstone coming out says live your purpose. So I feel like this is all sort of connected with that. And I feel like you've been working very hard to be more genuine for yourself and for others. And I feel as though this might have been difficult for you, or still is difficult for you. But I feel like your future self is saying, like, you will get there. You're going to get there. In fact, you might even be a lot closer than you realize. For some of you, you might be very intuitive with this moonstone coming out. So basically, I feel like your future self is saying, like, sort of reassuring you here. Is reassuring you that you will be living your life's purpose, okay? Your hard work is probably paying off a lot more than you fully realize right now. I feel like that's why your future self is coming out and saying that. Like, you don't fully realize the amount of, like, hard work that you've put into being yourself, maybe. I don't feel like you're fully have reached your, I'm trying to think of a word for it. like feelings of like almost like nirvana comes out. That's like the word that I heard. You haven't fully reached that like moment of being like completely aligned with yourself just yet, but I can tell you're also a lot closer than you once were. I feel like you don't totally see that. I feel like that's something that's kind of like you're blind to, is what I heard. You're sort of blind to that aspect of yourself right now, even though you are working on this and you are cultivating courage. You just don't see it, unfortunately. And I think that's why this is what's coming out in your reading. And this is why your future self wants to tell you this, is that you are making progress. You are moving forward with being like aligned with yourself. I keep hearing like alignment. So I feel like this is you trying to align with your truest self. And you don't totally realize it, but you're like much closer to this than you were when you started trying to align with yourself. When you started trying to be more honest with yourself, even if you do sort of realize this, maybe there's just more to this than you realize. Maybe you're still working towards being true to yourself, okay? But you, like, I feel like there's just an emphasis on you just not fully seeing it. Or perhaps there's like still some internal conflicts that you have to get through. Maybe there's like a few more, I just heard like acts of self-acceptance. So perhaps there's a few more acts of self-acceptance that you need to make, but and I think you see that. I think you see that there's some things that you could still work on, and maybe that's why you don't see the progress that you have made, because you're sort of stuck on the stuff that you haven't progressed with. And that's honestly really common, I feel like. I feel like people are very easy to be a little pessimistic when it comes to their accomplishments, or like lack thereof. And I feel like your future self is trying to give you a moment to like really sort of like be grateful for the progress that you have made, and to acknowledge the fact that if you haven't made the progress that you already had made, you wouldn't be getting to the end goal, which is still going to take time, and it's still going to, you're still going to have to work for that. But just acknowledge that you're halfway there. I heard, like, I don't know if that's true, like you might be a little bit farther or closer than halfway there, but I heard halfway there. So like you should acknowledge that at least you're halfway there, than at the beginning starting point, basically. Let's get into your tarot. So we have the Five of Swords. Yeah, I feel like that's you. Like you're almost over contemplating on the fact that there's still stuff left to be done. There's still things that you need to work on, but like in these two guys in the background, I feel like those two guys in the background are the stuff like that you have gotten through already. Like those are the internal conflicts that you've moved on from. But as you can see, like they're gone. Like you already made that accomplishment, and you really should be proud of it. But for whatever reason, you're still just really focusing on the things that you haven't completed yet, or that you haven't, succeeded in yet. Then we got the Queen of Wands. I feel like this is just a reminder that you will get to your end goal, that you will live your fullest, truest self. But for whatever reason, right now, you're really focused on the fact that you're not at that end goal, which again is super, super common. I feel like the way society has raised us, this is like a byproduct of that. This is like a symptom. I don't know what the right word is, but this is just like this is what happens when you live in the society that we live in. Like we're taught to be more excited about the end goal than the actual process of getting whatever it is that we're trying to get itself, which causes us to be in this state of really focusing on what we don't have, right? But it's totally possible to be grateful for the progress that we have done, and it's totally possible to like redirect your mind to enjoy the journey. I just heard that. Enjoy the journey a little bit. You're gonna miss, and I can completely vouch for this. This is what I heard. You're gonna miss this point. You're gonna like look back on this and actually sort of miss being at this point right here. And it might seem silly to you. It might seem like you don't believe that now, but even I have moments of that. Even I have moments of actually missing parts of my life that I remember thinking straight up, I'm never gonna miss this. I was wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. But it's okay. It's okay to really not enjoy this right now. You know, no one's making you do that. But I will say there is going to be a part, and when you're at this Queen of Wands energy, I mean, she is looking in his direction too. She's reminiscing on the fact that, you know, even though this might have not been your highest point in life, there was still things that you can admire about that. Like, you could admire the fact that you came a long way without getting to the full goal, basically. Let's pull some charms. Yeah, have some faith that you're going to make it to your goal. Have some faith that you'll make it to this queen. I heard black swan when I looked at this. This isn't a swan, it's a flamingo, I think, or an ostrich. But I heard black swan, so perhaps you're just very focused on the fact that you're like super unique. But you know, that's nothing to be heartbroken over. I feel like this is something that's really weighing on you. But I feel like your future self's trying to almost say, like, have faith that this is all going to come together. Have faith that, like, your truest self is going to be, like, confident. Like, this Queen of Wands is, like, the most confident queen, I feel like. And I feel like that's, you know, you're going to get there. But, like, just have faith in that, you know? And you've made so much progress already. I feel like that's proof enough that you can do this. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what the point of this reading is to remind you that you've made so much progress, and that is proof that you can complete your goal. Even if that's not, you know, as I stated, or like the example used in this reading, you know, aligning with yourself. That might be another way of saying what you're trying to do. But whatever your goal is in this situation, I want you to know that even though you haven't made it to the end of your journey, you've made it like close to halfway or halfway, and your future self wants you to acknowledge that and to recognize the fact that you made it halfway, or the fact that you've came so far at this point, is proof enough that you can make it all the way to your goal. So that's all I'm really getting for this reading. I hope you found it helpful. And I hope you return to the swamps again for another tarot reading. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, this is one of my favorite stones. I don't take it out a lot, but I love that. That's such a weird feel. I don't know why I'm just now mentioning that, but I do really like that stone. Oh, if you're still watching this, before you click off, I do think this does have something to do with confidence, because Garnet from Steven Universe is like the most confident of the gems that I can think of. I didn't watch the whole series, so maybe there was an even more confident gem, but she was like the most confident gem. So just putting that out there. I do think this does have something to do with confidence. All right, moving on. Hello, pile number 3. This is your tarot reading for what your future self would like to tell you. You chose the clear quartz. I think this is a special clear quartz, but I can't remember what exactly kind of clear quartz this is. So my apologies for that. It is some kind of clear quartz, though. We're going to start with your oracle cards, and then we'll get into your tarot. Oh my gosh. All right, your first card is your path. Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions. You got Sunstone. Ooh, I love Sunstone. Take pleasure in the things that you do. Cleansing, lemon. And then the number is 25, and the astro symbol associated is Gemini. And adjustments are required, third quarter moon. Okay, so I feel like this is a message to tell you that the path that you're currently taking doesn't fully align with you. I feel as though there's something preventing you from reaching your fullest potential that you need to cleanse or adjust in some kind of way. You might not need to completely get rid of it with this adjustments card coming out, but you need to adjust it at the very least, or perhaps you need to moderate it in your life, if that makes sense. Like maybe it has to do with the amount or how much, like for example, exercising. I'll use exercising as an example. It's not that you don't need to exercise at all, but maybe you're exercising a little too much. So you need to adjust how much you're exercising, clean out some of that. Not all of it, but some of it, if that makes sense. But with this, your path card, and take pleasure in the things that you do. Perhaps this does have to do with managing a hobby or a something that you're interested in pursuing with your life. Perhaps this does have to do with managing that in the sense that maybe you've been overdoing it a bit. Maybe you're too frequently doing something. And it could be affecting, like if you overextend yourself, it's going to affect your energy. You're not going to be able to, like for example, let's say you're a writer, okay, and you're working on a book and it's a long book and you're trying to knock out as many pages written as possible per week. Well, you're going to burn yourself out and not be able to write any pages next week if you write too many pages this week. You could actually burn that creative flame or blow it out, is what I heard. Or this is completely left field. This might be a very specific message for somebody. You said blow out. Perhaps you're trying to stretch your ears and you're going you're doing it, you're overdoing it. You're doing it too fast. This is just a reminder for anyone that this may apply to. Don't blow out. Don't blow yourself out. Don't overdo this. Go at your own pace. I feel like that's sort of like what this is saying. Like, you want to take pleasure in what you're doing. You don't want to like overextend yourself or turn it, you don't want to turn your pleasure into work, is what I just heard. You don't want to turn something that you see as a pleasure into work, because work is sort of like, it's a necessary evil sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, and you don't want to turn your pleasure into that, basically. So let's get into your tarot. We've got the Tower coming out. Yeah, so this is, I think, kind of saying that you want to reevaluate, rebuild, restructure however you're going about your path here. You don't need to necessarily completely throw it into the garbage. You just need to reconstruct it. You need to make some adjustments to it. You need to clean out what doesn't serve this path that you're trying to take. Again, you don't want to turn this into like work. You want to keep this as pleasurable as possible. That is not to say that you shouldn't work for this at all, but you don't want to turn it into like the same energy as like a 9-to-5 job that you hate, right? You don't want to turn it into that. So your next card is the Ace of Pentacles. Perhaps this does have to do with some kind of monetary pursuit. And maybe it is like something that you take a lot of pleasure in, that you want to turn into a career, but this is just sort of a reminder that, you need to restructure this. You don't want this to turn into, like I said, like the same energy of a 9-to-5 job that you hate. You want this to still be pleasurable. You want to take pleasure in the things that you do. And you want to clean out any energy or any habits that you may have formed surrounding this that have turned into like almost like a pressure. I sort of feel like a pressuring energy to like overachieve almost is sort of what I feel like. You're kind of putting the pressure on yourself here. You want to like tear it down, that energy, and make some adjustments and then rebuild it. So and perhaps you will be receiving like much more of an opportunity after that. Perhaps you will like come into an actual financial opportunity involving this if you just take this. I almost heard like take it a little less seriously. You don't need to take this as seriously as you're taking it right now, at least not at this point in time. I feel as though this might not have, whatever this financial endeavor is, it hasn't completely taken off yet. And I feel as though that is going to, like, you don't need to take it as seriously then. Like, it's not that you need to give up on it. It's that you don't need to take it 100% serious. You can treat it as sort of like a side hustle is what I heard. You don't need to treat it as your main thing just yet. In fact, I think you should treat it as a side hustle currently, And the reason is because if it hasn't fully taken off yet, you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to exert all the energy and burn out when you do start to take off. You want to still have that energy left so that you're ready for when the rest of the universe is ready, basically. Like, you're ready now, and I get that. I can pick up on that 100%, but the universe might not be ready for you yet. And you want to be ready when the universe is ready. And so if you want to maintain that energy, then don't burn yourself out doing this. Do what you need to do to like take the first steps in this, but don't overexert is the main message I'm getting from this. So we're going to pull some charms. Got a flower coming out. I heard good things take time. When I saw this, I heard a very interesting message. Don't get lost in a sea of madness. So perhaps you're putting just a lot of pressure on yourself right now. And I feel like there's like a warning, and I feel like this leaf is coming out as that warning because I thought of fall when I saw this leaf, and there's this guy falling. You don't want to fall. You don't want to fail. You don't want to burn yourself out to the point of exhaustion and falling over. Obviously, I don't think you're going to really like burn yourself out to that point, but I do think that you could burn yourself out and just not have the creative energy that you want for this when the time comes that you're going to really need it. And then you have a key. I feel like this is like you have the key, like you have the key to your path here, but you haven't come across the door to open to really fully enjoy this path, is sort of what I'm getting from that. Like, it's kind of like what I'm saying. Like, you're ready, you have that key, but the universe has not presented you that lock yet. So just be aware of that. Like, it's not that it's not going to happen, it's just that it hasn't happened yet. And then we have this sun coming out. I feel like you're very confident about this pursuit. And that's fine. That's a good thing. But just know that like you have to, like, there's such thing as divine timing, and you're going to have to like go with that. You're going to have to work with that, basically. So that's all I'm really getting with this reading today. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you return to the swamps for another tarot reading. If you wish to support my channel, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the swamps for another tarot reading. I hope you all found your readings helpful today. If any of you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. And again, thank you.